We thank you for joining us. Here's the news at 10 with me, Adetola Kayode. You're welcome. The Lagos State government has assured residents that it is working hard in conjunction with security agencies to address the recent cases of kidnappings and armed robberies in parts of the state. In a statement issued by the Secretary to the State Government, Tunji Bello, the administration of Governor Akinwumi Ambode will continue to protect the lives and property of its citizens in every part of the state. While sympathizing with the families of victims in Iba and Ikorodu, the Secretary to the State Government urged residents to go about their normal businesses without any fear. He advised Lagosians to be very vigilant and security conscious, as intelligence reports have shown that most of these heinous crimes are perpetrated through recalcitrant elements who have infiltrated the state and are carrying out this act in conjunction with friends, family members, or close associates of the victims. Mr. Bello urged residents to take advantage of the state's toll-free lines 112 and 767 to report any case of crime or unusual or suspicious movement, strange faces in their neighborhood to security agencies. Lagos lawmakers are asking the federal government to take the issue of insecurity in the nation, especially in Lagos State, more seriously. They said the establishment of community policing in various states can help provide solution to the rising challenge. Correspondent Busola Kukoyi reports that the House also called on Senator Dino Melaye to tender an unreserved apology to the APC national leader Asiwaju Bola Tinubu for his statements. Her report.
The day's proceedings started with prayers for the safe return of the kidnapped Oba of Iba land. All members of the House decried the unfortunate incident which claimed the life of the monarch's Knights Guard, noting that it would not have been possible for such a dastardly act if there were community police officers who have a good knowledge of the area on ground.
Unless we are able to apprehend those who perpetrated this act, they may be emboldened and encouraged more to deal with lesser citizens of Lagos State.
This shows it's a serious threat to us here in Lagos. And that, for me, that's the reason why I think our concept of federalism should be reviewed vis-a-vis relation to security matters.
It is important that all our border towns should be fortified, both the waterways and also the roads.
The federal government cannot abandon us to the consequences of its action. If we have to do something, we must be mindful of the consequences or what effect it will have on the people. The effect of the present policy of the federal government on the people of Lagos State is totally negative.
It seems our effort is becoming useless and senseless, because if we have contributed so much and yet the security of our people cannot be ascertained, cannot be ensured, seems what we are doing is not yielding fruit. If, as you have all mentioned, a monarch can be, picked up in his palace just like a snail, I think it's so terrible.
The House also addressed what it described as the display of rudeness and disrespect to the national leader of the APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and his wife, a sitting senator representing Lagos Central, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. They called on the erring senator to tender an unreserved apology to both of them.
The President of the Senate to really set up a panel to investigate Dino Melaye for this unacceptable utterance to a colleague.
His utterances also have buttressed the fact that he has disdain for women, be it if a girl, a lady, talk less of a married woman, and a senator for that matter, someone that's distinguished herself, representing the whole of Lagos State.
Telling the man in question that he should watch it, that he should not violate our representative, he should not abuse our representative, and not to her alone, and others who are representing the senatorial district in Lagos State.
Earlier, some aggrieved women had protested to the House over the conduct of Senator Dino Melaye and submitted a letter calling for the senator to be called to order. Busola Kukoyi, LTV News.
Meanwhile, the police in Lagos has assured a safe return of the kidnapped Oba of Iba land, Oba Goriola Oseni, who was whisked away from his palace in Lagos. Police Public Relations Officer Dolapo Badmus told LTV News that the kidnappers were pipeline vandals who were obviously out of business searching for soft targets.
The Lagos State Command is working assiduously to ensure his rescue. The Commissioner of Police today was at the site, and we are all hopeful that very soon he will be reunited with his family. These are the people that have been as the vandals. He's been involved in vandalizing 99. But because they have been saved from that accident, right now they resort to using what we call soft target. And they are disinherited. But we will soon ensure that the king is rescued.
A group under the umbrella of Concerned Women has called on Senator Dino Melaye to tender an unreserved apology at the hallowed chamber of the Senate to women over what they termed is unruly behavior towards Senator Oluremi Tinubu last week. We have details by correspondent Omololu Rosanwo.
The alleged altercation between Senator Dino Melaye, representing Kogi West, and Senator Oluremi Tinubu from Lagos Central Senatorial Districts at the closed-door executive session on the 12th of July at the Senate Chamber of the National Assembly seems to be attracting more attention. These women folk, under the aegis of Concerned Women, are not happy with Senator Dino Melaye's utterances against Senator Oluremi Tinubu and by extension to the females. Hence their protest to the governor's office in Lagos for onward transmission to President Muhammadu Buhari.
We, the Concerned Group, condemn in very strong terms Senator Dino Melaye's assault on Senator Oluremi Tinubu and therefore call on Senator Dino to tender unreserved public apology. Failure to do so within acceptable frame of time, we therefore call on relevant authorities to expedite measure within our legal system against Senator Dino Melaye, not only to serve as a deterrent to others, but also to send strong signal to young people so as not to see Dino's character as an ideal conduct in the sane and in civilized society. What the ministry stands for, it does not stand for abuse. The ministry does not stand for uncouth utterances. And that is exactly, we all know it in the papers and the news, that's exactly what Dino Melaye has done. We condemn his action in all its totality. It is condemnable. We say no to it. What do you say to it? No!
The women folk also took their protest to the Lagos State House of Assembly and were received by the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Wasiu Eshinlokosani.
We will also treat this letter on the floor of the House, and we will do all that is needful, and we will be able to deliver your message to the appropriate authority.
Although no statement has been issued by the Senate leadership, efforts must be geared towards resolving the issue before it attains another dimension. Omololu Rosanwo, LTV News.
Moving on to other stories, Governor Akinwumi Ambode has attributed the success of his administration to the resilience and hard work of public servants in the state. Declaring open the second summit of the Association of Lagos State Retired Heads of Service and Permanent Secretaries, the governor said going forward, the ideas and suggestions of the retired government workers will serve as backup to policy formulation. Correspondent Olubukola Akinkoloshu reports.
The second summit of the Association of Lagos State Retired Heads of Service and Permanent Secretaries (ALAOP) allowed for the retirees and even upcoming ones to mingle, share their joys and aspirations. The approval of ALAOPS by Governor Akinwumi Ambode is to serve as policy advisor, the think tank to the Lagos State government, with the view to leveraging on the institutional experience and knowledge of members regarding policy formulation, development, and implementation. Speaking during the second summit, Governor Akinwumi Ambode, who was represented by his deputy, Dr. Idiat Adebule, said with the increasing population of Lagos, there is a need for new innovations to move with the current tide. Therefore, the theme for the second summit is instructive and apt.
I have no doubt about the fact that the future of the state is bright and assured. We know we have all it takes to make Lagos State a major player, not only on the African continent, but in the global economy. All that we need to do, and which is what we are doing, is to optimize the huge potentials that we have to create more work and opportunities for all.
Diverse experiences of the members of such a forum, all of whom have held key positions in government, would no doubt enrich the process of governance, enrich policy formulation and development, enrich the public service, and enrich service delivery.
President of ALAOPS, Alhaji Kayode Anjorin, and other participants spoke on the intent of the 2016 summit and their expectation afterwards.
Lagos State is blessed with a highly informed and sophisticated citizenry whose expectations from the state government are usually very high. The intent of the 2016 summit, therefore, is to assist you in this regard.
These are men and women that are seasoned, that they have a lot to offer. Some retired pretty young, some retired even at 60, but you still find out that they still have a lot to offer society.
The Ambode administration, from my own experience, from what I have seen so far, has focused on improving the lives of the people.
I'll be retiring in another 5 years. I look forward to it. In fact, coming here is a learning experience for me.
The theme for the second summit of ALAOPS is sustaining the tradition of excellence. Olubukola Akinkoleosho, LTV News.
The Lagos State government has begun the process of employing qualified candidates into various vacant positions in the state civil service. In a statement by the chairman, Lagos State Civil Service Commission, Mrs. Adeyinka Taiwo Oyemade, the government said vacancies are available for education officers, technical instructors, building officers, as well as civil and structural engineers. The government also said vacancies are available for architects, medical consultants, and principal pharmacists. It urged interested applicants to submit their application on the state's online portal, jobs.lagosstate.gov.nj, noting that application closes at midnight of August 1, 2016. A two-day workshop on the roles of judges in the fight against corruption has opened in the nation's federal capital, Abuja. Declaring the workshop open, President Muhammadu Buhari laid the crux of the challenges inherent in the fight against corruption on the doorstep of the nation's judicial sector, and therefore charged members of the judiciary to live above board in their operations and administration of the new Criminal Justice Act 2015. Our State House correspondent, Adegboyega Arobodo, covered the opening session. His report.
Even though though corruption is regarded as a global phenomenon, it is more pronounced and complicated in developing countries. It remains a singular obstacle to peace, sustainable development, and good governance. This two-day workshop organized by the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption is considered timely as it hopes to reflect on the nation's judicial system in the face of the current fight against corruption, and it will also assert the present administration's zero tolerance on corruption and financial waste in governance.
The future of anti-corruption efforts in Nigeria rests not only on well-functioning preventive system, but also on effective sanctions and the enforcement regime in accordance with the laws. We count on the judiciary to do its part in this regard. On our part, we are committed to promoting supporting the judiciary to achieve our judicial system.
Drawing experiences from other climes, this forum intends to highlight the critical roles of law officers and other core players of the investigation and adjudication processes, vis-a-vis the police, the prison authorities, and the anti-graft agencies.
We are thus left with the judicial attitude and approach to the handling of corruption cases at the appellate level, that is at the Court of Appeal and at the Supreme Court. The Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption was convinced that the most effective way of galvanizing our appellate justices into a proactive mode in corruption cases was to invite their colleagues from various other national jurisdictions where there has been a good record of swift, efficient, and successful prosecution of corruption cases.
Other speakers stressed on the need to have the judiciary fully independent and preserve the rule of law, and it must be a sector which must eschew all acts of corruption within its rank and file.
Corruption in Nigeria, as in other climes, is a complex and many-sided problem that cannot be solved in isolation. The reality of its corrosive effects is found in the socio-economic threat that it poses to the development of harmony in Nigeria.
Judicial corruption is especially dangerous to a society's well-being. And unfortunately, there is much evidence from around the world to show that where corruption is rife in the public sector, the judiciary aids and abets that corruption by failing to uphold the rule of law. When one talks about judicial corruption, one immediately has the image of a judge taking a bribe. But judicial corruption has many more facets.
Panels at the workshop will discuss areas of sentencing in high-profile cases, comparative experiences in handling judicial corruption, asset recovery proceedings, among other topical areas. It is expected that this workshop will further ensure a more robust and synchronized judicial system and also sharpen the operations of the nation's judges in tackling the cancer of corruption. Adigboyega Arogbodo, LTV News, Abuja.
And back in Lagos, the state governor, Akinwumi Ambode, has restated government's resolve to enforcing relevant regulations on noise pollution in the state. He made the remarks when the MTN Foundation distributed 250 hearing aid devices to beneficiaries in the state, including children less than 1 year. The governor, who was represented by his special advisor on primary health, Dr. Femi Onanuga, stressed that no individual or corporate organization would be spared in government's renewed onslaught against defaulters. He urged the 250 beneficiaries of the Hearing Aid Support Project in Lagos State to join the crusade of campaign against noise pollution in the society. Also speaking, wife of the governor, Mrs. Bolanle Ambode, hinted that coincidentally, the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials Council would do a similar program later in the year, urging the beneficiaries to use the devices as instructed and also handle them with care. Meantime, the Consumer Protection Council, CPC, has commenced the nationwide grassroots consumer awareness program with women as part of efforts to stem consumer abuse in Nigeria. The Nigerian consumer ambassador and wife of the president, Aisha Buhari, would lead the campaign against the violation of the rights of consumers in the country and will also help the agency carry out effective mobilization of women. The council had also identified other platforms such as the Road Transport Unions, commercial motorcyclists, the National Orientation Agency, student bodies, and National Association of Nigerian Traders, among others, as partners to stop consumer abuse. The CPC's Director General Dukbe Atoki, her launching the sensitization campaign for women groups, said the collaboration would help improve the level of consumer awareness in the country, stating that women constitute the largest consumer bloc in the economy by virtue of their innate ability and God-given role of making purchase decisions as well as catering for the family. They suffer the most abuse as consumers. And on the international scene, a former Turkish Air Force commander has confessed to planning last week's attempted military coup. General Akin Öztürk said he acted with intention to stage a coup. Photographs of the general published by the Turkey news agency appeared to show several injuries to his head and upper body. The general had earlier denied any involvement in the coup attempt and insisted he worked to stop it. The news agency earlier reported that he was one of the 70 generals and admirals who had been detained. 11 had so far been placed under arrest, it added. More than 8,000 police officers were also suspended and forced to hand over their weapons as part of a purge of officials suspected of involvement. And in sports, the National Executive Council of the Nigeria Football Supporters Club has impeached and suspended the acting national chairman of the club, Vincent Okumagba, for gross indiscipline, abuse of office, and anti-club activities. We have details of this and more in our sports package.
Rising from its NEC meeting in Lagos at the weekend, which was attended by 15 out of the 18 chapters of the club in the country, the club accused the erstwhile acting chairman of engaging in activities capable of ridiculing the club before the Nigerian public. Briefing the press on the outcome of their meeting, which was presided over by the Deputy President General of the club, Alhaji Yusuf Aderele, acting Public Relations Officer of the club, Hafiz Balogu, and the chairman of Abuja branch of the club, Professor Kenneth Onyemere, noted that impeachment became necessary in order to put a stop to the impunity being perpetrated by Okumagba, even as he announced the second national vice chairman, Engineer Isaac Ebisewe, as the new acting national chairman of the club.
Embarrassing the clubs, outside the Port Harcourt during the Yobos event is there. The issue of the list is submitted for the Rio Olympic is there. He single-handedly submitted 286 lists to the list through the through the ministry, and is claiming that he's the leader of the club. Unfortunately, the list is submitted does not include any of the members of the executive, neither the PG, the deputy PG, executives, or any other great leaders of the club were there. And it goes around claiming that he's the leader of the club. To us, that is misconduct and a great anti-party activity.
Elsewhere, as preparations for their participation in the Super Cup reaches advanced stage, the managing director of Baruch Sports Academy, Salawuddin Waheed, has praised the CEO of Team Tours Direct, who doubles as the event director of the 2016 Welsh International Super Cup, Thierry O'Neill, for what he described as his unflinching commitment to ensuring that Nigeria representatives have the best of time in one of the most celebrated football competitions in the whole of the United Kingdom. Following his relationship with the Swansea-based sports outfit over the years, coupled with his exemplary conduct and inspiring performance of young players paraded by the Ikorodu-based academy at the Dubai International Super Cup in March this year, the Welsh-born chief executive of Britain's foremost tour and sports management company has been assisting the management of Baruch in the process of getting the necessary documents and other logistic requirements that will help the contingent to have a hitch-free stay in the Queensland. The Baruch contingent are expected to depart the shores of the country on August 1st for London, all things being equal. The Welsh International Super Cup will kick off on August 4 in Cardiff, Wales. Ijoma Chibu, LTV News.
And that's it on the News at 10 tonight. We thank you so much for watching. For more on our news broadcast, you can please log on to our website, lagostelevision.com. You can follow us on Twitter at Lagos Television. You can be part of our YouTube community by logging on to youtube.com/Lagos Television. Our LTV app is also available for download on your iOS, BlackBerry and Android phones. Thanks for watching. I am Adetola Kayode. On behalf of all of us here, we wish that you have a wonderful night rest. Good night.